What's up, guys? Tuki here, back again, and let's get down to business here on this episode of my Boston Bruins franchise mode. I don't feel any better about this upcoming episode, or about this episode right here, right now, than I did at the end of the last one. This is going to be a pretty difficult episode. Like, having to pick between players and who you think is going to be successful is never easy. Now, contract-wise, of course, we do need to re-sign Tuukka Rask, and if you hear some clicking in the background, it's totally not me using the calculator app on my computer, not one bit. We will go 7.1 for 2 years. Of course, Rask won't be here, but that should be a more easily tradable contract. Now, Dougie Hamilton, we shouldn't have any problem re-signing him. As far as term goes, we are going to just sign everybody to the years that they want. I'm not going to go too crazy with the contracts, aside from doing, of course, the 15%. Now, this is a huge moment of truth. Will Cholowski actually sign with us? I swear, I don't think he's going to. I truly don't think he's going to re-sign with us. That's how little faith I have in the morale system at the moment. We've been screwed by it a couple of times in series past, but let's go 5.1 here. We could go a little bit more, but we'll see with him. That is a big question mark. Chris McIntyre still willing to accept a 2-year deal, or 2-way deal, but I honestly think there's a good chance of him making the roster. I think there is. Shit. Ah, man, what do we want to do here? Because, again, now I'm really freaking out about the, giving people too much term and the game kind of making him pay for that. I'm going to give him exactly what he wants. I will give him exactly the term that he wants. Same with Riley Stillman, and probably same with Ralph Jarrett. Yes, indeed. And we will see if that pays off. Moving over to right wings, Jake DeBrusk. Strong chance that he gets traded, but we will give him the exact contract that he wants. Tara Tukin, same thing. I'm fine with that. And Travis Barron. Again, not going crazy with trying to get every player discounted, but let's see now. Stromwall needs a deal. Looking for 2 years, and we should be able to get a nice little discount here. For example, he is someone that we could probably sign to an 8-year deal, and it wouldn't hurt too much. But, 2 years, not that big of a deal. Riley Tufte, still willing to accept a 2-way deal for a year, so we will do that. Vladimir Kuznetsov. Interesting situation here with him. Do I think he'll make the NHL lineup? Maybe not. But we will re-sign him. We'll re-sign Asplund as well. But again, no guarantees that they will be with this franchise moving forward. DeRocher needs a deal. And we get to move on to centers where the real fun begins with one Nolan Patrick and trying to sign him to one hell of a contract. And let's see what we can get you for. We can get $1 million less. Not too bad at all. We will go to 6.8, actually, 1.1 million. Brian Little, not exactly the signing that Pacioretty was in the fantasy draft series. We'll let go of you. And Noah Gregor is looking to get paid with his playoff performance. I'm not sure if I exactly agree with the fact that he wants so much money, but we will sign him. Trent Frederick will give you the deal that you want. McKenzie and Sokolov, two guys who... Oh, shit. Really? You don't... Okay. If he doesn't want a 2-way deal, he's out. So, sorry, McKenzie. You are gone. I don't think you're going to make it anyway. Sokolov, though, we will re-sign for 1 year. And that is that. So, the question is whether or not I am correct about Cholowski not re-signing. I hope to be wrong, truly. But we will find out. So let's take a look. Tuukka Rask is here. Of course, he will be retraded. Dougie Hamilton has resigned. DeRocher is here. Stromwall, DeBrusk, Stillman, Barron, Sokolov, Kuznetsov, Frederick, Patrick. I knew it. All because he accidentally sat for one fucking playoff game. Get the fuck out of here. Shit. Alright. I think I know a way to counteract that. We'll sign him to 1 year, overpay him by like $2 million, and if he doesn't bounce back throughout the course of the year, or maybe we don't even wait. Maybe we just re-sign him and get rid of him. But there's a strong chance that Cholowski's days here are numbered. I'm going to go 1 year, $6 million, and we will potentially look at getting rid of Dennis Cholowski, which, in fairness, he was a free agent signing, so we got him for free, and anything we potentially trade him for is profit. He has re-signed for now. But again, whether or not he can rebound from the morale system, that's a big question. It looked like we had the temporary fix when we gave him captaincy, but clearly that was only a temporary fix, and of course we lost in the playoffs anyway. But the re-sign phase has been taken care of. That was weird. Good Lord. Anyway, taking a look, and we have a decent prospect here. Clayton Keller is a UFA. All right. Well, first off, let's take a look at goalies. Not like we need anybody in particular. And yeah, I was just wondering, more prospect-wise, was there anybody worth picking up? And there is not. Defensively, do we have any decent prospects? Low elite. I want to stay away from low potentials. I really do. Like, low elite, what are the odds that Jake Bean ends up becoming what he should? I'm not gonna risk it. You know, and he's an RFA, so we would have to pay up a little bit. But Morin and Anderson, not worth signing. High top 6 Olofsson, not worth it. We do have a couple of medium 6 guys here. Quite a few, actually. God damn. So you got someone like Jacques, you got Lindros, please be Eric, Edwin, god damn it. Stevens, Josh Stevens, James Baines, the medium top 6. I'd rather go for high top 6, medium top 4, stuff like that. So I think we'll pass prospects here. Nobody in particular. How good is McCarron at this point? Only an 80 overall. Adam Earn, again, medium top 9. Medium 9 might not be bad. Vesa Timonen, the second round pick of Calgary. Cristiano Cheveldae, hell of a name there. We might, and then there's also Vince Tucker. Those 3 guys right here, Timonen, Cheveldae, and Tucker, we might come back to. Actually, high bottom 6, is there anybody worth getting there? No, there is not. I don't think I checked for right wings either, so let's do that super quick. And nope, there's nobody there. All right, so far it's really only those 3 guys prospect-wise. Clayton Keller's here. Colin White is available again. Now, we were fair in the past, and we traded him back to Ottawa. We might take him. These 3 guys right here. Now, I know cap space-wise, we're a little bit up against it. We might not be able to get Clayton Keller. We probably won't be able to get Clayton Keller. But we still might be able to do some damage here. And I'm shocked Braden Point, who I had starting at like an 80, 81 overall, is only a 76. That must be a morale thing. And then Alexi Sorella is there, an old name from the past. Let's see. Do we want to invest in medium top 9? I don't know if we do. So it comes down to Tuppurainen, Jyrki Tuppurainen, Colin White, and potentially Clayton Keller for prospects. As far as actual players go, Johansson, I don't see us signing him. Pajot. Yeah, I don't see that happening. So it's looking like just those centers. Ryan McDonough is a free agent, but again, I don't see that happening. Eunice Brodin as well. All right, well, let's see what we can do here. And again, I don't think signing Clayton Keller is going to happen. Of course, we have him in the fantasy draft series. I'd like to get him, though. Tuppurainen, we will look to sign. I should have offered him more money. Colin White. You know what? We will offer Colin White a deal. we will offer Colin White a deal, I think. 87 faceoffs. Colin White's getting a contract offer. We had him once before, and we'll see if we can re-sign him. The question is, do we want to go after Clayton Keller? And I do, but who would we have to give up to clear that cap space to afford Clayton Keller is the question. So let's take a look here. Actually, no shit, we can trade Tuukka Rask right now. We can trade Tuukka right now. I wouldn't know what to trade him for, forward, defenseman, or whatever. I wouldn't know what to trade him for. That's the problem, because we don't know what we're going to need. I would have liked to have waited until the preseason. But let me take a look. Let me take a look and see if I can find a prospect where it makes sense. So I think I have a trade here that makes sense for us. It's Tuukka Rask, Talbot, who is low top 4, and Lowe, who is low top 6, to Chicago for Alex DeBrincat, Valimaki, and Bouchard. Now, DeBrincat is ridiculous. He's an 85, but he's kind of Stromwall-esque as you get a look at his offensive abilities. Juuso Valimaki, strong chance that he could be a replacement for someone like Sylvan or maybe somebody else. Again, I don't know what the defensive situation's looking like, but he could be a good defenseman for us. And then Evan Bouchard, who we nearly drafted at one point. A decent prospect defenseman who could, again, compete for a spot. So, it helps because we're getting some good pieces. It doesn't help because it creates more of a logjam that we still have to solve. But that's all I can really do right now is get good pieces and then figure out where the hell to put them all once we get to the preseason. But let's see if we can get this to work. The one downside is that DeBrincat and Valimaki both have decent contracts at this point, and we really can't tack on anybody else. So it might put the Clayton Keller deal in jeopardy still. Like, it might not be a good enough trade. And looking at who we could potentially trade to free up more cap space, maybe it would be a Noah Gregor. There's a strong chance he could be moved out. But we'll see. I think I want to go through with this trade. This should go through. So let's see. Tuukka Rask, Talbot, Lowe, and a 4th to Chicago for DeBrincat, Valimaki, and Bouchard. And indeed, it did. Tuukka Rask off to Chicago. And again, it makes sense for us as he is going to a Western Conference team. So for now, it is down to Sawchuk and Herme. But let's see here. Damn it. Yeah, we're a little bit short. We are a little bit short of being able to afford Clayton Keller. All right. I think Jake DeBrusk is the one that has to go. I'm going to go with my gut here and say that he is not going to progress. I just simply don't think he will. I mean, right now it's either we trade him or we trade Gurianov to clear up this cap space because we want to go for Clayton Keller. And I'd say Gurianov still has a bit more likelihood of being a solid forward as opposed to Jake DeBrusk. So let's see where we can send DeBrusk to. And actually, I should probably pause the video here as my dog freaks the hell out. Yeah, you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. Let me see if I can find a trade for Jake DeBrusk. I think we found our guy, Jake DeBrusk, potentially going to St. Louis for prospect AJ Woywitka. Medium top 6, 20 years old, 27th overall in the 2020 draft. We're also going to try to get a few extra picks off of the Blues. That went through. Maybe could have gotten a little bit more. Jake DeBrusk is off to St. Louis. Woywitka is here. Can we afford Clayton Keller is the question. I still think we're technically going to be short of his asking price. Son of a bitch. I may have screwed up there with the DeBrincat trade. I may have screwed up with that and just tried to get a little bit too much with him and Valimaki. But again, I did what I had to do, and now we'll look at, again, potentially trading someone out to shed some cap space. And it's going to have to be... I mean, it's Gurianov, it's Noah Gregor, or it's Brandon Carlo. And Carlo's not going to turn into that elite top 4 defenseman we were hoping for, but he could still be a bottom pairing shutdown defenseman. So, and there's a strong chance, even if I don't trade Carlo here, that I will trade him later. But I think right now, it's going to be Noah Gregor. 78 face-offs, we'd move him over to the left wing anyway. We have a logjam at left wing. I don't know, it's tough. Like, he was miserable in the playoffs, too. 34-point regular season, 1 point in 8 games in the playoffs. So I think we're going to try to shop Noah Gregor. And again, I think we found our guy, hoping to send Gregor to San Jose for Tuukka Vico. I'm going to guess the... is the H silent? Would it be Vico or Vico? I know I have a decent amount of Finns that watch my stuff here. I know you will let me know for sure, but we are going to need a right-handed defenseman down in Providence. I don't think this will go through with all of those picks, and I had a feeling that it wouldn't. But we will remove these picks until we can get something to go through, and that third-round pick is a little bit too much. But again, we're going to be getting draft picks here pretty consistently throughout the rest of the episode. We'll take that off. So Vico, a 4th and a 5th for Noah Gregor. And now we can enter the Clayton Keller sweepstakes with $1 million more than what we need. So let's see here. 3 years, wants $6.9 million. We will bump that up to $725. $725. And we'll see if that goes through. We'll give him a little bit more money than what he is asking for. If he doesn't accept, maybe I'll go out for some of those medium top 9 forwards. Of course, we also offered Colin White a deal, so it's a good thing we cleared out that extra cap space. But let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. This team has already changed a lot, and those changes will continue. Jyrki Tuppurainen is here. We still need to hear from Keller and Colin White. And Clayton Keller has accepted. Colin White has rejected. He signs with the Dallas Stars. A little bit disappointed. I really would have liked to have Colin White, but Clayton Keller is here. I didn't plan on signing him. Certainly didn't plan on having him in both series, but that is how it goes. Let's move forward to the preseason. Get ready. Trades are happening. Now, this might not be the first trade that you were expecting, but based on some of the progression, I'm going to go with my gut on this. All 5 of these players are low top 6, and I just don't think they're going to be worth the time investment. So we're going to send them to Colorado for everything, all the picks, over the next 2 years. We'll see if this goes through, and it actually didn't. We'll tack off a 4th there. Will it go through now? Yes, it will. A lot of changes. But I just don't think some of those guys are going to be worth the investment. I don't think they're going to progress into what they should be. So we're going to cut ties now and give people a chance down in Providence. Blockbuster number 1. Because they need to happen. That is the only way we can get fair value for some of the players that we have. So blockbuster number 1 is Dougie Hamilton, Sylvan, a 2nd and a 3rd, to San Jose for prospect Gary Bathgate and Jeremy Roy. Or Wah, correct me. I'm going to say Roy for now. I know he's French-Canadian, so it might be Wah. I'm saying Roy for now. Who is a legit top 2 right-handed shot. Again, you'll see what I mean about the whole fair value thing once this team is done. Let's see if this goes through. Is Dougie Hamilton off to San Jose? He is not. We need to sweeten it just a touch, they say. So we'll tack on a 4th round pick from Colorado. Is Hamilton off to San Jose? He still isn't. Wow. All right. They are trying to get as much as possible, which is admirable. This should go through. And it does. Jeremy Waugh, Jeremy Roy, whatever. He is the newest Boston Bruin. See you later, Dougie. You can't trade Roman Josi and get fair value on a prospect. At least not without trading him to the Eastern Conference, and that is not something I am doing. So we're going to try to send Roman Josi out west to Anaheim in exchange for Shea Theodore, and hopefully Theodore and Roy will be our new top defensive pairing. I think we're asking for too much here. Indeed we are. We'll take off the second round pick. That still didn't go through. You see the trade value bars. I don't want to do that straight up 1-for-1. But then again, they don't want to trade Theodore, so it is probably about even. But like I said, certain players, it is just about impossible to trade them for good prospects. Like there's someone on Philly that we could potentially get. We could go out to Nashville and try to get the guy who just went number 1. But even then, that's just, it's too risky. It is too risky to send someone like Roman Josi to someone else in the Eastern Conference. So we're going to try to send him to Anaheim, and boy, they are, much like San Jose, trying to get everything they can from us. But man, are we even going to be able to tack on? We're going to be lucky to get a 7th here. It's going to have to be a straight swap. I'm okay with that. I was going to get Larson, but I don't want to have Clayton Keller and Larson in both series. Yeah, it's going to have to be a straight swap, isn't it? Nope, even then. Holy shit. You know what? I'll still do it. I will still do it. And we'll just get rid of a 7th round pick, and that will hopefully go through. It didn't. Holy shit, Anaheim. Like, I get it. He's good. But come on. Ridiculous here. There we go. Roman Josi, who we acquired for free, along with a 7th and 6th round pick. They are off to Anaheim for Shea Theodore. And you will see how good he is shortly. I said big changes were going to happen, and they will continue to happen. Matt Grzelcyk on the outside looking in. It's Cholowski or Grzelcyk. And the risk, we have to try and hold on to Cholowski, and we have to hope that he can overcome the morale deal. That's why Grzelcyk's going. And we're going to try to send him to Anaheim for some picks, although we're probably asking for too much, and we definitely are asking for too much, but that is okay. Let's see if we can get this deal to go through, and we should be able to get a 1st and a 3rd out of it. We'll just tack on some later picks as we normally do, and all it took was a 6th. Matt Grzelcyk is off to Anaheim. And as promised, we're not done. Trent Frederic, DiGiacinto, and Tara Tukin are the next ones who just no longer have a place here. We will see if this trade with Colorado goes through, and we're probably going to have to take off that 3rd. We do, and that goes through. This team's going to be interesting. I can't wait for you to see it. Finally, and I mean finally, I don't even feel comfortable in saying how much time I have put into this. Even though, I dedicate a lot of hours to YouTube every day, every week. This was a bit much. But the team is done. And I do look forward to seeing the reaction. 192 and 87 ratings for the main team down in the AHL. It's 81, 84, and 79. Let's do this. Let's take a look at this creation. The top line this season will be Pasternak, Sagan, and Stromwall. The second line will be Skinner, Keller, and DeBrincat. Now, keep in mind, DeBrincat will be moved to a right wing. He's actually not that good of a center in terms of faceoffs. Third line will be Gurionov, Patrick, who will be switched to a two-way, as was suggested, and Senyshyn. Now, you might be thinking, well, what the hell are their roles? Pasta's a first liner, Sagan's a first liner, third liner for Stromwall, first, second, first, second. We're going to have to be very careful with the power play and the penalty kill units to make sure that these guys, particularly someone like Nolan Patrick, who's the first line guy on the third line for now, gets the right time. This will change a lot, I am sure. But there's only so many first round picks you can get. We have so much offensive talent, and, depending on what happens, we'll see who's worth keeping. Will Jeff Skinner have another poor year? If he does, he's out. Will Gurionov not progress? If he doesn't, he's out. And then you have the fourth line. You have Matthew Strome with Sasha and Riley Tufte. And again, you have Strome and Tufte as third line guys on the fourth line. We're going to have to balance this very carefully. But I do think that if we play it right and we play it safe, everything will work out, and this team should be pretty damn dominant, I would like to think. Defensively, of course, we have Shea Theodore and Jeremy Roy, or Roy, again, someone will tell me. I don't feel like looking it up. The big question is, did we make the mistake in keeping Cholowski over Grzelcyk? And keep in mind, too, with all of these guys, some of them are a point or two better. It's just, the morale from trading people away. Like, Joel Lampkin is actually an 85, and we'll have him in the lineup. And Juuso Valimaki will be with Brandon Carlo. So I look forward to seeing what that defense can do. The goaltending, at the moment, it's looking like Herme is going to be the starter, although Sawchuk is an 85. But again, trading away Grzelcyk, Yossi, Hamilton, it's taken its toll on him. But they are both up to at least an 84. This team is so overloaded offensively. The morale system could really screw us, or we could just walk the NHL. I have no idea what's going to happen. We had to trade away so many players, move so many pieces, but it is what it is. The AHL, they're looking a bit weak offensively. I mean, obviously, because a lot of our prospects graduated and then were traded away. We ended up signing the likes of Devon Shore, Thomas DePauli, and Jay Beagle to one-year deals. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of progression we can get out of some of these players. Defensively, though, is where we are overloaded. And again, we have another situation where special teams needs to be a factor to get players their right amount of playing time. But we, of course, have Chris McIntyre and Evan Bouchard. Riley Stillman is with Charlie McAvoy. And then Ralph Jarrett is with Gordon Pickard. The goaltending, Shane Finger up to a 78. And Leon Arnolds was actually signed by the game. It'll be Nesbitt, that's the backup, because Poulin is in the CHL. Scratched players, not that many. You have Vico and Helenius that can fill in defensively, as well as Jamin Allison, who I'm tempted to trade, so that these two guys right here can get more playing time. And then Pascale, Benson, and Novoseltsev are the scratches for the forwards. I cannot wait to see the feedback for these rosters and the changes that we have made over this offseason. All I know, not quite a rebuild, more of a retooling, and it'll be interesting to see what this team can do. The plan, of course, is to still stay competitive, but it's to find out what players we should keep. And then next year, when Shane Finger's our goalie, most likely, and he'll be ready to go. If not, 2 years from now, we know exactly who we want, and we have the core set in place, and we go for cups in the final years of this series, because both this and the fantasy draft series will be going to year 10. I'm not going to start a new series until the real-life NHL trade deadline has passed, because I don't want to start something and then have like Ben Bishop get traded and, not be able to have that effect in for a long time. So I know if I were to start a new series that I would regret it. So buckle up, because this ride is only half over. And again, we aim for the cup. We aim to figure out just who exactly is in the core of this team. Unreal episode. Unreal with all these changes. And we will see if we made the wrong decisions along the way. Guys, that will do it for this one. As always, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, of course, a like is always appreciated. It helps me and supports the channel. And it is, as I said, greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe, too, if you haven't already, to continue following this series and others. And I will see you guys next time.